Hello, my friends. Three things I learned that cost me thousands of dollars being a landlord. Don't make these same mistakes. Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvia Ho, and I'm a financial landlord consultant. I work with landlords to help them save money via decreasing the taxes that they pay and reducing the interest that they pay the banks. I'm also known as the cash stemming queen. All right, three things that I learned as a landlord over the last 24 years. So, I own condos here in the downtown core. I bought them pre construction and they're pretty. They're really nice. You buy it off of a piece of paper, and then when you go do your inspection, this looks great, right? And one thing that I learned is that did you know that there are two lint traps when it comes to the dryer? I had no idea. So, in our home, so in my house, I have my dryer and I take out the lint and I teach the kids, take off the lint, throw it out, and then put the clothes in and then start the dryer. But with condos, there's two lint traps that your tenant must take out every single time they use the dryer. Okay. So it's a regular lint trap that's in the dryer, and then there's one up in the ceiling. You have to pull it down, take all the lint out, and then push it back up. And I didn't know that. I didn't tell my tenants to do that. And guess what happened? The dryer overheated, it burnt out, and I had to buy a whole new dryer. And that alone, those dryers for those townhouses, for the condos, they're super tiny, but they're super crazy expensive, right? Some of them come like stacked all into one, and then so I send like repair people over, and they're like, oh, you got to replace the motor, and the motor costs like $500. You might as well buy a new one, and then you end up spending $1,200 plus delivery fee. It just cost me thousands of dollars. So remind your tenant to remove the lint in both parts, the one in the ceiling and one at the bottom. First thing. Second thing is, and at the end of this video, I have a checklist that I created for my tenants, for condo people, for people who have condos. So if you're interested in this checklist, comment checklist below and I'll send it over to you. So the second thing to look out for is in these condos, there are washing machines. There are dishwashers, right? So what do you do at home with my dishwasher? What I do is there's a trap at the bottom that needs to be cleaned on a regular basis. It catches the food, toothpicks, and things that can't dissolve. That needs to be cleaned out. So you have to remind your tenant to clean that out on a regular basis, or everything will back up and then you're going to have a water issue because the pipe fell off. And goodness gracious, I've had water issues at my condos, and it costs a lot of money. There was one time my place was vacant for 6 months because my insurance would not act on it, and it was driving me absolutely bonkers. Luckily, they paid for those 6 months of vacancy, and they paid for all of the repairs, but it cost me money and cost me headache and caused me grief. All right, so that's the second thing. The third thing is paying. Okay, so this is the financial part. This is where my financial hat goes on. Paying biweekly on a rental property. I am seeing this a lot. I am seeing landlords who want to try to pay off their rental mortgage property faster, and they put it on a biweekly accelerated plan. Please, my friends, stop doing that. Because by doing that, yes, you're paying less interest to the banks, but do you know where you're losing money? You're paying more taxes to the government, because by paying weekly accelerated, you're accelerating the mortgage pay down. Therefore, you're paying less interest. Therefore, when you go to your accountant to do your taxes with your accountant, you're going to have less tax write-offs, and therefore you're going to have more net income, and therefore you're going to end up paying more taxes. So please, my friends, stop doing that. Instead of bi-weekly payments on your rental property, please move to monthly payments. Please stop paying bi-weekly accelerated. There's no reason to pay off the mortgage on a rental property, especially if you have a mortgage on your owner-occupied home, which is not tax deductible. Redirect your extra money over there. Pay that off instead, right? Because the interest on your mortgage, you can't write it off. It's not a tax benefit for you. The interest on the rental property is a tax benefit. So please stop paying biweekly accelerated. So 3 things to look out for: the lint trap in the dryer, the goo trap. I don't know what it's called in the dishwasher. Make sure your tenant cleans that out on a regular basis. And lastly, please stop paying biweekly. Please pay monthly on your rental properties. If you would like a checklist for your condos of things to tell your tenant to look out for on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis, please comment checklist below and I'll send that right over. All right, talk to you later. My name is Sylvia Ho and I'm a financial landlord consultant. I'm also known as the cash damming queen. I'm also a mortgage agent and a landlord and a mom. If you love what you are listening to every single week, please comment below, like, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Thank you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye now.